There's a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. A ghost that haunts the hallways of your memory. A brighter, louder, more confident you. That person didn't just fade away with time. They were slowly, quietly, and systematically erased. This is the subtle, crushing work of emotional abuse. It doesn't always leave bruises. Instead, it rewrites who you are. It convinces you to give up pieces of yourself, one by one, until you look in the mirror and barely recognize the person staring back. Today, we're not just talking about the abuse. We're talking about the aftermath. We're pulling back the curtain on the 7 things you stopped doing, the parts of you that went dormant, waiting for a safe time to return. Let's begin. Number 1, you stopped speaking your truth. Remember when your opinion felt like your own? When you could state a preference, share an idea, or disagree with someone without a knot of fear tightening in your stomach? You had thoughts, beliefs, and a voice to express them. Then, the dynamic shifted. Every time you shared an idea, it was met with a smirk, a condescending laugh, or a detailed breakdown of why you were wrong. Your taste in music was childish. Your political views were naive. Your solution to a simple problem was ridiculous. It wasn't a debate. It was a demolition. The message was clear. Your thoughts are not valid here. Your voice is an annoyance. So you learned to be quiet. Silence became your armor. You started saying, "I don't know," or "whatever you think is fine," not because you didn't have an opinion, but because the cost of having one was too high. You would swallow your words until they felt like stones in your throat. You became an expert at reading the room, not to contribute, but to figure out what the correct thing to say was, the thing that wouldn't cause a fight, spark a lecture, or result in the cold, punishing silence. You didn't just lose your voice. You were convinced you never had anything worth saying. Number 2, you stopped pursuing your passions. What did you used to love doing? Was it painting, playing the guitar, hiking on weekends, getting lost in a video game, or maybe trying new recipes? Think about that thing that lit you up, that made you lose track of time. Where is it now? For many who have walked through the fire of emotional abuse, those passions are now collecting dust. That hobby, that source of pure joy, became a weapon used against you. It was framed as a waste of time or a silly little obsession. If you spent an afternoon painting, you were neglecting your real responsibilities. If you were excited about a new song you learned on the guitar, you were met with an eye roll or told to stop making that noise. Your joy became inconvenient for them. Your personal fulfillment was a threat to their control. They couldn't stand to see you happy in a world that didn't revolve entirely around them. So, you slowly let it go. It was easier to put the guitar in its case than to deal with the criticism. It was simpler to watch what they wanted to watch on TV than to escape into your own world for a few hours. You gave up the things that made you you in order to keep a fragile peace that was never really peaceful at all. Number 3, you stopped trusting your own gut instinct. Your intuition is your most ancient, primal survival tool. It's that feeling in your gut, the little voice in your head that whispers, "Something isn't right here." It's your internal compass. Emotional abuse, especially through methods like gaslighting, is designed to systematically break that compass. You were sure you remembered them saying something, but they would deny it with such conviction that you started to question your own memory. "I never said that. You're crazy. You're making things up again." You would feel hurt by a comment they made, and they would tell you, "You're being too sensitive." It was just a joke. Your valid emotional reaction was dismissed as a personal failing. This happens over and over and over again, like water dripping on a stone. Eventually, the stone erodes. You stop trusting that initial flash of hurt or confusion. You begin to believe that you are the problem, that you are too sensitive, that your memory is faulty, that your perception of reality is skewed. The abuser becomes the narrator of your life, and you lose the ability to trust your own story. Your gut instinct, once a trusted guide, becomes a source of confusion you learn to ignore. Number 4, you stopped maintaining your friendships. Think about your social circle before, the friends you'd call just to chat, the family you'd visit, the people who formed your support system. Now, think about how that circle may have shrunk. Isolation is a cornerstone of control. Your abuser likely didn't lock you in a room, but they built invisible walls around you. Every time you wanted to go out with friends, it was a problem. "You love them more than me, don't you?" Or, "They're a bad influence on you." After you'd see them, you'd be interrogated. "What did you talk about? Were you talking about me?" It became exhausting. The simple act of seeing a friend required so much energy, the energy to justify it beforehand, and the energy to deal with the fallout afterward. So you started declining invitations. You stopped returning calls as quickly. You told yourself it was just easier to stay home. You weren't just avoiding a fight. You were being conditioned to believe that your connections to others were a betrayal. Your abuser wanted to be your entire world. And to achieve that, they had to burn down the villages of all your other relationships, leaving you standing alone with only them. Number 5, you stopped embracing imperfection. Humans are beautifully, wonderfully imperfect. We spill things. We forget appointments. We burn the toast. We make mistakes. It's part of the deal. But in your situation, every mistake, no matter how small, was magnified into a catastrophe. It became evidence of your incompetence, your carelessness, or your lack of love. Did you forget to pick up milk from the store? It wasn't a simple mistake. It meant you never listen and don't care. Did you accidentally shrink a shirt in the laundry? It was proof that you're useless and can't do anything right. You started living in a state of high alert, a constant effort to achieve an impossible standard of perfection. You'd reread a text message 20 times before sending it. You'd clean the house obsessively, not because you liked it clean, but because you were terrified of a single spot being found. You began to live with the fear of messing up. This isn't just about being a perfectionist. It's a trauma response. You stopped seeing mistakes as learning opportunities and started seeing them as crimes that would lead to punishment, whether that punishment was rage, insults, or the dreaded silent treatment. Number 6, you stopped dreaming about the future. Hope is the fuel of the human spirit. It's the act of looking forward, of making plans, of dreaming of a better tomorrow. Emotional abuse starves you of hope. When you're constantly trying to survive the present moment, you don't have the mental or emotional energy to think about the future. And when you did dare to dream, your aspirations were likely shot down. You wanted to go back to school? You're not smart enough for that. You wanted to apply for a promotion? You'll never get it. Don't even bother. Your dreams were treated as foolish fantasies. Your hope was a direct challenge to the hopeless reality they had created for you. Why? Because a person with a plan is a person who might leave. A person with a dream has a source of strength that the abuser cannot control, so they made sure to crush it. You stopped talking about your 5-year plan. You stopped browse for vacation spots. The future, which once seemed like an open road, now felt like a dead end. Surviving today became the only goal. Number 7, you stopped simply being at peace in your own space. This is perhaps the most subtle but most significant thing you lost. The ability to simply relax. The feeling of being at ease. Of being able to let your guard down in your own home, on your own couch, in your own skin. Instead, you were always on. Your nervous system was in a constant state of readiness, a condition scientists call hypervigilance. You were always listening for the sound of their keys in the door, analyzing the tone of their voice, trying to predict their mood to avoid an explosion. Home stopped being a sanctuary and started feeling like a minefield. You were walking on eggshells, constantly aware that one wrong step, one wrong word, could trigger a disaster. You couldn't just sit and read a book because part of your brain was always on duty. You couldn't just enjoy a meal because you were bracing for criticism. The feeling of peace, of quiet contentment, became a distant memory. Your own body, your own home, no longer felt safe. You lost the fundamental human right to just be. If you recognized yourself in any of these points, even just one, I want you to hear this loud and clear. It was not your fault. You didn't stop doing these things because you were weak or flawed. You stopped doing them as a way to survive an unbearable situation. Your mind and spirit did what they had to do to protect you. But survival mode is not meant to be a permanent address. It's a temporary shelter. The beautiful truth is that the person you were is not gone forever. They are not a ghost. They are dormant, waiting for you to create the safety they need to reemerge. It happens slowly, one honest sentence at a time, one brushstroke on a canvas, one phone call to an old friend. You can reclaim these pieces of yourself. You can learn to trust your gut again. You can dream again. You can find peace in your own space again. The journey is not easy, but it is yours to take. If this video helped you feel seen or understood today, please hit that like button to help it reach others who need to hear this message, and subscribe for more content that helps you understand yourself and your relationships better. Now, for you, I have a question, and I want you to be gentle with yourself as you answer. In the comments below, tell us one thing, just one small thing, you want to start doing again for yourself. It could be as simple as listening to your favorite album or buying a sketchbook. If you're not ready to share, that's completely okay. Just type, "I'm ready" in the comments to let us know you're on this journey of rediscovery with us. You are not alone in this. Look at the comments. We are all here, taking that first step together. Thank you for watching.